this first Panama trip, I'd like to reiterate, I had never flown by myself.
Oh, right.
I had never flown internationally.
First time across the pond.
I was flying to Panama to meet this kid, Taylor. I'm telling you, thankfully I had Alex with me, and I was like, I'm getting kidnapped here.
Right, you guys flew together.
Yeah, we did. Alex arranged all of our flights. So
Did
that
he,
way,
even at that time?
he did.
Bro, you came in and arranged all the flights 3 months in?
I knew we had to come in together. There was no way.
No. He arranged the routes so that way I met him at wherever our layover was.
Chicago?
I was panicked. Never met this guy ever in person. Having to navigate an airport, run up to him.
I think I remember this now.
Backpacking on Spirit,
Yes.
which goes to show how far we've come.
Yes. One bag, no baggage fees. Spirit.
Oh my
and
God.
the flight landed at 3 a.m. That was the big kicker of why I wouldn't send Destaney down there.
Do we transition to that part of the story?
That's a good part of the story. I was sleeping and decided not to wake up because I thought it was better to just sleep through the night.
Going back to Taylor's skill set and his strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah, holy
it's
shit.
not typically,
I can't believe I just
relationship
did
building.
That's the worst.
At this time, and Taylor over indexes and things and goes really, really deep rabbit holes. That's why we're recording a $30,000 podcast right now.
Yeah, it's all the equipment.
At that time, he was all in on biometric tracking and efficiency and sleep schedule.
Nothing to do with relationships, to say the least.
And Alex and I landed at 3 a.m. We've been working with this kid for, I think I'd been working over a year. Alex was newer to the team.
Yeah.
First time meeting, and we land. Taylor gives us access to his apartment. We walk in and we're like, this kid's lying. He's going to be up. He's going to greet us.
Yeah, someone's going to be here.
He's going to
offer
be
us a
here.
snack or a hug at least.
Fuckers. Wow. I really didn't show up.
No, you did it. We were so excited. Because, you walked into you were staying at the Trump at the time. You
It
walk
was
in.
like a literal penthouse.
It's amazing. It's gorgeous. and it's so
insane.
exciting.
64th floor.
It's the first time Alex and I have ever, I think, really experienced that. For me, at least. I walked in and I was like, I didn't know this was possible. This much happiness, I felt like. And we go upstairs, we open the door, and praise the Lord, Taylor's cats were there because he obviously didn't fucking greet us.
They took care of the greeting for me.
Yes. And you never realized, you do now because we give you so much crap for it, but how funny that was to Alex and I. We were shocked.
Oh, yeah.
We were like, this mother effer, this
I think
is the
it
worst
brought
thing.
you guys together in a sense.
Probably, because we were like,
Immediately-
Taylor's never going to be there for us.
Yeah, immediately it was like a division. It was like, fuck, okay,
Yes.
it's just us and this one kid.
That started my adulting streak really early for Destiny. Like, wow, he can get through Panama Airport, get a taxi at 3 a.m.
That's true. I've looked up to Alex
We
ever
didn't
since.
die. Yeah.
So I had this come up. Why are we so good together? The three of us.
I've actually been
Because
interviewed
we're
on this
good friends.
a lot. Due to like my role and the visibility we have, I get asked this quite a bit often. And I always say, if we would have started a company from scratch, screw you hiring me, us hiring Alex. If we would have somehow met and started a company from scratch, I don't think we would have been able to do it whatsoever. Because we would have had to define roles really early on and like all of those things that most people get in the way of actually running a company. But we grew up together. And I think that's the biggest difference is we were so young that we didn't know what defined roles were. And we focused so much more on understanding ourselves and building a strong relationship than building a company.
Yeah.
We all loved
wow.
Better
I like
AMS, but like you forced us to come together pretty frequently. And I think we all also were grateful enough to have a very strong level of emotional maturity. And most people, I think, our age don't have that level of EQ. So those things helped.
Wow, I love that. I've never really thought of it like that. Yeah, because I think from the beginning, I always looked at you guys and I was like, let's do this thing together. This is going to be exciting. Like even in Bocas, it was like, all right, what the fuck are we doing? For me, it was a moment of like, holy shit, we have two onshore human beings on the way, and we're gonna go talk about business.
Yes.
And it's not my best friend from elementary.
Yeah.
Because Mark, it was such a different dynamic between us because we had so much like relationship history that it made it difficult. Yeah. Whereas with you guys, it was like blank slate. Let's fucking do this. What are we gonna do?
And we all looked up to each other in that way. You know, like when you're with your childhood friends, like you always see them as that child self.
Yeah.
But I mean, to this day, I'm still like, Alex is absolutely insane at his ability to tie everything together. And I always say, like, we would have never been where we were without Taylor's ability to just do it. It's another terrible trait of yours, but you're just so confident. And
It's quite delusionally sometimes.
yeah, but in the best way. And that's the one thing
That
I
naivety is
needed.
taking you far.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the one trait I needed in that time in my life.
It was perfect for all of us, I feel. Like we all
Yes.
came together. And it was so funny because as we all came together, we knew from the moment we came together, we were like, holy shit, this is a great trio. Like our skill sets are so different and good.
Yeah.
But why are we such good friends?
Well, there's a science answer to a social science answer to your first question you just asked Destaney of like, why are we so good together? And we've done a lot of personality assessments to help us get there.
Yeah.
Right. Through the Gallup, through
Clifton Strength. Oh, that
Clifton
is
Strengths,
Gallup.
the visionary integrator
Kobe
from
A.
Rocket Fuel. It's a perfect like triangular. What was the one? Culture Index was the one where we finally got on with someone and they're like, this is very rare that you have a leadership or a partnership dynamic that hits every side of the triangle perfectly. And that's something we invested early on to help us figure that piece out and at least be confident. We didn't know we had no idea what would get us here today.
Yeah.
But very early on we knew that.
That self-awareness piece,
Yeah.
that's something that I know I probably index a little bit more than you all. Alex is pretty self-aware. You are self-aware in certain dynamics.
You guys are way more self-aware.
But I think we were all
In a
very
different way.
humble going into it. So like not only were we
Yeah.
using something like Culture Index or Clifton Strengths to figure out how we best work together, but we learned really early on how we don't work well together. Like I think one of the biggest learning moments was realizing like Taylor needs to learn, like Colby needs to learn something insanely deep. He needs to talk through something for 17 hours.
Yeah.
And that's the exact opposite of me. I'm like, you know, let's go, let's move, let's work on something. Like things click a little bit quicker for me in that regards, and then I don't communicate them well enough with you.
Yeah.
So when we really spent the time to figure out those, again, the scientific reasoning of why we work well together, I think that helped, where most people maybe
Yeah.
don't go into it with that naivety maybe. We were like, what do we suck at? What are we terrible at? Let's like make sure we don't let that come into the business.
We didn't realize it then how big of a key that is now. But I feel like if you get on any type of SMB forum or mentorship or group, it all comes down to like, how do you delegate? How do you get everything off your plate? What you don't want to be doing? What's delegatable?
People.
And we didn't do it directly because of that, but because of that, we figured out a working dynamic between 3 people, and at a time a company of 9 total. I think that was a big deal.
Wow, yeah, people. And this is what I was telling you guys earlier, is just when you guys were talking about that dinner that you went to, and I was just like, we really know people, like especially you guys. You guys really can feel whether or not this is someone that we would vibe with or you guys would vibe with, and how they would fit in with everyone else. And I think when you know people, you can start to see the puzzle pieces better and put them together better. And that's the heart of the business. And so I like this. This was kind of like we were in the little experimental container together. and we like really assessed each other.
Yeah.
And that gave us this sense of who should we hire. And there was a lot of bad hires, but not too bad. I feel like you guys learned really quick.
I think we are young and also fully virtual. And that is another dynamic that I always say made us successful.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, if I would have been in office with Taylor, I would have murdered him.
Yeah, I know. It wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked. But we were in a position of being able to just work in our own silos and never micromanage the other person. I didn't have time to hop on and, micromanage anything you all were doing.
Yeah.
We were judged on our performance and not how we got there. And I think that was an important part. And I think that also goes to show with the team we're hiring is sometimes you don't see people as clearly when you're only hopping on Zoom, which was another thing that we rolled out is let's meet people in person more frequently so you can get to better know someone. And that's something that's affected our hiring and a learning curve we had to go through is let's do a better job of meeting people in person so we can truly get to know them better.